Welcome back to another lesson in sketching in clay. And this week, what I want to share with you guys is the importance in consistently learning, always trying to test yourself, push yourself, and to learn new things. Whether that be from a course, or whether that be from going out and trying to do something new, or whether that's even if you set up your own little class of saying, I want to improve on this, or I want to improve on my characters, or studying up on different features or things like that. I've done Those are another thing I do, to do a little intensive session to where I just go all in and try likenesses, or I'll study portraits, or trying to come up with different characters. But anyway, last weekend what I did was I had an event with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and that's something I dive into, and just going into the mindset, learning a lot about how to push yourself, how to drive yourself, how to get yourself up and moving and being productive. And then another thing I'm working on is I started a lesson with Yehuda and Maya Dever, and they create a bunch of illustrations called One of Those Days. Basically, these cool little illustrations that are inspired by basically daily life, and they are have a new course out that is for doing illustrations and digital illustrations in particular. However, the thing that I love about them is that they create stories in basically one illustration. And one of the things that they're gonna that comes later on in the course is how to kind of develop that and kind of dig a little bit deeper. So that's one of the reasons I got the course. But I still like to go in and learn and sketch and have fun. And so that's why I decided to use clay, and did a couple little portraits here, or a couple little character sketches. And from this one, it's just a matter of I started personally with a circle, doing different shapes, but changing the eye line, the mouth line, and shifting those around, and seeing what kind of characters I could create with them. And then the other thing that I'm working on is doing different expressions. So here I have portraits of both of them. And the worksheets that they gave Maya, it's just a portrait with no mouth. That way you can kind of draw in different expressions just to see slight changes that will change your character's perception. And Yehuda doesn't have eyes in the image, and so you're just testing different eyes and seeing how expressive those can be, and how they can change your image and change the feeling. Now with the sculpture, I had to add at least a little bit into him, because you have to be able to build in this structure here, or else it's not going to look right. But that's what I plan on working on this weekend, is trying to do a few different expressions with him. With Maya, I already did a few different expressions, and so this was the last expression of her being a little bit extra silly or happy and goofy. And one of the other things I'm trying to push myself with these is I'm pretty decent at getting a likeness and capturing a likeness. I'm also pretty decent at capturing a cute characters and going a little towards the cute and cartoony side. However, going towards caricatures and more extreme cartoons is something I'm interested in, seeing what I can push the boundaries on with that. And that's one of the issues and things I was trying to do with this, is how do you there's certain illustrations that go so wild to where, the mouth will be bigger than the face because they're yelling so loud or screaming so happy. And so what I'm trying to do is seeing how far I can push the boundaries of my own pieces to get into that cartoony feel, but still being able to do it in a sculpture base to where it still works in the 3 dimensions. Because in a drawing in 2 dimensions, that always works without, you don't have the same issues you do with 3D. So that's one of the things I'm working on, and that's just what I want to share today. Just whatever it is, there's all different types of mediums out there, and all of them work together. So even for me, when I first started out, I started out with a lot of drawing. And even though I'm not as interested in it and it doesn't do the same thing for me anymore, I learned a lot about anatomy. I learned a lot about drawing characters, the placement of the features on the face, things like that. And then I also did t-shirt airbrushing and airbrush illustration, which got me into learning how to use the airbrush, how to paint, how to do it in layers and different techniques, and just basically how to use the airbrush. And that kind of flipped over to now painting the pieces that I do, painting the finished pieces, doing skin tones and things like that. So every single creative endeavor that you go after and that you learn, these are all different techniques that you can put together and you can use in your sculpture, in whatever other art or creative thing you're trying to go after. So that's my lesson for today. Never stop learning. Just keep going out there and trying new things, whether it's you're going to go buy a course from somebody or whether you're going to be watching a few YouTube videos that you're going to put together and try to learn from, or if you're going to create your own personal intensive session where you say, this weekend I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to go in for 3 or 4 hours and just go all in on trying to get better at this and this. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next week.